This is Men's Hour with your host, Mike Bianchi, talking about the issues you really care about. Money and crazy bitches. What is it about crazy bitches that are so appealing to us? You know, the baby mama, the one who calls you 10, 20, and 30 times a day when you just don't want to see her anymore. Maybe you had a kid with her, maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't, and you just wanted to close things off, and she just won't leave you alone. Everybody's got a story like that. If you're a man, you either have a story like that or two, or you're going to, because you're young and you're going to. You know, a lot of people don't know this quite yet in the mainstream, but on the internet, what they call the manosphere, there's this movement rising now called MGTOW. It stands for Men Going Their Own Way. And it's amassed a very large following. I mean, it's nothing compared to the leftist media. It's no CNN by any means, but regardless, a few men with some video cameras have taken to YouTube, and they're creating a lot of noise about this MGTOW movement. What is MGTOW? What is it to really go your own way as a man? Well, there's levels in the MGTOW community. A lot of them talk about the varying levels. You could be a MGTOW monk, which means you swear off. I mean, it's the full 9 yards. You're swearing off women completely. You're going no fap. You don't watch porn. And for a time, that actually has some really amazing benefits. In fact, a lot of people have reported that they have just really, really deep spiritual benefits that come from no fap in general, separate apart from MGTOW. We'll get to that in a minute. No fap is something I'm very sympathetic to, actually, personally, because it allows you to focus, to transmute your sexual energy into creative energy, something that you can be productive with, and it's very powerful. It's very potent. And scientists, a lot of people don't know this, but scientists have actually done studies on the effects of this. And what they found is that after just 1 week of what they call semen retention, which is no porn, no masturbation. By the way, this was in the Bible the whole time. You probably never read it. But if you have, you know, the Bible speaks about no fornication. You've got to wonder why. Why has this ancient document said such terrible things about that sin? You know, if you're a deep thinker, you'll think about that sort of thing, and it'll start to bear some truth. And that's why Christians should never really disregard science. Science proves God. It doesn't discredit him. But I'm going off on different tangents here. The point I'm trying to make is that MGTOW has varying levels. The no-fap one we just talked about very briefly. Oh, what I was going to say is that the scientists have found that after doing a week of semen retention, testosterone levels on average go up more than 40%. Imagine what that can do for your career, your physical health. All sorts of benefits come from having more testosterone as a man. And as a woman, too. Women don't just need estrogen. There has to be a balance. Men have estrogen, too. But men particularly need more testosterone than women. And when you engage in this sort of thing, you just find out you're just an all-around more productive guy. A glow kind of surrounds you. You get an aura about you that's just more magnetic. You start doing things you never thought you could do. You're more productive. The list of benefits is really something else. I recommend it. And then when you combine this with good diet and exercise and getting rid of the bad habits, you know, I've been a smoker since I was 12 years old. and 28 now, and I'm just now starting to let them go by switching to the vape pen and then reducing the milligrams. I feel like I can get that habit out. But in conjunction with these other healthy habits, what happens in your brain is your dopamine rises, and you start to become superhuman. Or the reality is you're actually going back to the human you were purposed to be. So it's not that you're superhuman, it's just that everyone else is so fucked up and you're not anymore. That's the magic of it. That's a beautiful thing, let me tell you. Women will come at you left and right when you practice this too, which is ironic, isn't it? That the day you decide I'm going to swear off them, well, here they come. And that can mean two things. Now, I'm not particular towards the swearing off women entirely. I mean, women are Earth's flowers, right? I mean, they're beautiful. You know the old adage, you can't live with them, you can't live without them. Well, there's some truth to that, right? I mean, women enhance life in many ways, but they cost so much in today's society, and that's really the purpose of the MGTOW community. If you're on the hook for child support and you have a crazy baby mama who's likely pretty hot, you know, the hotter they are, the crazier they are, the lower self-esteem they have typically. A lot of people don't tell you that. You got a 10 out of 10. She is being judged from every little single tiny teensy little imperfection she's ever had. You're too thin, you're too fat, you got some birthmark or whatever it is. The 10 out of 10s are very insecure most of the time. So, but today's laws, what I'm talking about is child support and marriage, and you know, marriage in particularly is for the middle class and the impoverished. And you should listen to what I'm saying here. I had to learn this the hard way. I got divorced in probably one of the worst. I'm lucky it wasn't California, but I got divorced in one of the worst counties that you could get a divorce in Michigan, maybe even in America. And I'm originally from New York, and I found out the hard way it was actually more fair. The laws were more fair for men in New York than they were in Michigan. Now, that's a sad story, but I realize now that there is a purpose to it. I can share my experiences, and now you don't have to go through the same things. And if you're going to marry someone, you never marry a 10 out of 10. You don't ever marry the supermodel. You also don't ever marry a single mother. We'll get to that in a little while. Probably a future podcast, because this is already running fucking long. I think we're at 10 minutes now. I didn't really want to go past 10 minutes, but guess what? We're going to go past 10 minutes because you've listened this long already. That means you're fucking interested. You are into this shit, you sick bastard. I'm just playing. You know I got love for you guys. So, MGTOW, there's other levels. The one that I'm talking about, the one that I'm more sympathetic to, is the one that does not swear off women, but the one that postpones a serious engagement, marriage, relationship, what have you, children. You postpone that stuff until you are either older than 25 or you've achieved financial stability. And today, it's 2019. It's the first day of 2019. Happy New Year. Today, financial stability, to raise a family of more than 2 kids, you better be ready to have a 6-figure income and a net worth heading towards $1 million. All sorts of nonsense is going to come up with healthcare, and sure, you might find a job that gives you good health benefits and such, but it's not even going to put a dent into college. Your purpose when you have kids is to give them a leg up in the world. A better chance than you had, perhaps. That's going to require some financial resources. You need a six-figure income, and that's why you should go MGTOW for now. For now. And there's no set age. Forget about what anyone tells you. Well, forget about what mom and dad and brothers and sisters and your fucking idiot friends that tell you you're getting older. You're going to be almost 30. You're going to be almost 40. You should settle down. Who gives a fuck? You don't have to settle down. I thought this was a free country. You don't have to subscribe to any social norm that anyone tries to. Let me tell you something. Whenever someone tells you it's time for you to settle down, and they're married and they're settled down, most likely they're jealous of the freedom that you have. Think about that.